Greetings and welcome to our beginning and intermediate fall orchestra concert. We're so glad all of you could come and join us. Looks like a great full house here. Thank you to those of you who are gathered here today in person and to those who are tuning in for the live stream here. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Mr. Foote, one of the orchestra directors here. I'm joined tonight by my colleague, Miss Culver here, over there to my left here, who will be joining you here and working with our beginning orchestra here, sitting in front, behind me here. I'd like to go ahead and start by having you please, out of etiquette for our performers and for those viewers, please make sure that those cell phones are silenced and you're avoiding any of those bright screens there for distraction purposes. We're going to go ahead and get going here. This beginning orchestra group you see in front of you started off with no knowledge of those instruments whatsoever, just trying to get started here with those strings, and now they can do so much more. We're really excited to showcase for you a bit of what we've been working on. It might seem like simple stuff we have for you, but it's taken a lot of time to really prepare and get these students to where they are today. We're going to go ahead and start with some selections from our beginning orchestra here behind you. We've got a few things for you, different songs from this workbook we've been working on a lot over these past months. And we're going to go ahead and get started with my colleague, Miss Culver, which will go ahead and share with you just a little taste of what beginning orchestra has been up to these past months. Thank you.
Good evening. Like Mr. Foote said, my name is Lauren Culver. I'm subbing here for Mrs. Childs while she's out on her maternity leave. It's been great getting to work with these students over just the past few weeks that I've been here, getting to see them work hard and getting to know them and their personalities as well. We're going to start out with Jumping Jacks. This song uses the first two strings that we learned, the D and A string. We go back and forth between the two, kind of like we're doing a jumping jack. Short and sweet. Our next song is the walking song. This song, we have three new notes that we learned with our left-hand fingers. You can see them walking between their first three fingers. Song is called Rolling Along in the book, but you might know it as Mary Had a Little Lamb. works on a difficult skill that they've been working on called tunneling. So you can watch, they're going to place their fingers on the string while they pluck a different string. This was pretty tricky at first, but I'd say now they've mastered it. Next we have lightly row, and lightly row kind of combines the skills that we've talked about so far. So we have notes on the D string, we have the A string, and we have the tunneling that we heard in the previous song. Now I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Foot to do the second half of the beginning songs.
Thank you. These tunes might seem really simple, but man, so much work going into that. Really just trying to figure out how to read the music itself, how to get ourselves set up with the posture. There's so many things that we work on going into these months, so it's really cool to get a chance to see them put something together as this full group. Moving on to this next page, we have our next one called Song for Christine. Really fun tune. Does feature actually some of these A string notes here, and for our basses we have an exciting concept called shifting, which is something we won't really see for the rest of these instrument sections for a while. And it's where they're taking their hand position instead of being fixed in that same spot. They're actually going to adjust their hands and move their way further up on the neck, which is required for really effective bass playing to play anything beyond just a few notes. So it's really cool stuff, really tough stuff. This is Song for Christine. You should have noticed maybe from that our upper strings also featuring on the second page, we actually start to make use of this playing position or shoulder position, which we really need to start facilitating the use of those bows. The super exciting part that I know we're all waiting for, that sound that's really characteristic of the orchestra. Well, it's certainly on their way. While many have looked at this already in their lesson groups, we're going to go ahead and start getting those preparations made in the large group rehearsal. This concert featuring some of that shoulder playing position that will get them ready to go with those bows for those upper strings. So it's really exciting stuff that really have to spend a lot of time working on plucking up in that position simply to build up the strength so that the fatigue doesn't set in from holding the instrument up in the air. So it's pretty cool stuff. This next one we have is a popular fan favorite, probably the favorite of the whole orchestra, I'd have to say. Please, from beginning orchestra, how many of us is Jingle Bells our favorite piece out of all the ones we have? All right, yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty big popular one, very recognizable. Next one, Jingle Bells. Certainly one appropriate for the holiday times. Jingle Bell, a fan favorite for sure. This brings us to our final selection for beginning orchestra. We have for this final one called a Mozart melody. So certainly a famous, very prolific composer. Actually made an incredibly popular and fun theme and variations on this tune, which you'll recognize as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So it's a classic, fun one to finish off on. This is a Mozart melody. All right, so there was our beginning orchestra. I hope you've been hearing and listening carefully, parents and families out there, as our students are working on this stuff. There's a lot of things to practice with this, especially as we make that transition now over to that more characteristic sound of the orchestra. Getting the bows ready to go. Once we pull those out, we never look back, and the progression only continues from here, which you'll get to see in a moment from just 1 year's worth of experience as we move on to intermediate orchestra. Thank you so much for your help in getting them ready to go and supporting them. It means a lot, and it's helped allow for beginning orchestra here to be, while maybe a small group, but mighty and able to produce the sound as successfully as they have. So thank you so much, beginning orchestra. Excellent job. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next portion, which is intermediate orchestra. Thank you. As we're making this transition happen here from beginning orchestra, intermediate orchestra, just wanted to draw your attention to just a few things, starting with that blue sheet you may be found on your way inside, not to be confused with the program. There was a blue sheet that we had as well, which is actually a list of our private lesson teachers that we have here available in the area. Great time to go ahead and get started studying privately as early as possible. Really puts your student in position to be really successful and tackle filling the upper echelons of the orchestra program that we have here at Park Junior High School. Many of this Prelude group, which you'll get to see, this audition group later on this evening, many of these students are studying privately, and they're as successful as they are because they make use of those private lesson teachers. Many options available from that sheet. Certainly encourage you to take a look through that carefully, and consider signing up your student for private lessons. It's a great way to galvanize their progress. Also wanted to take a moment to talk about PIMA, this awesome group that is a really engine of success that helps us, allow us to do so many cool things, field trips, fundraising, allowing us to purchase new things we need, like our bass players. Certainly could use some new basses there. They really help galvanize and allow us to be successful there. We're going to go ahead and hear from someone here in a moment about more about PIMA here, to just give some details and advocate for them a little bit better in a way than I certainly can. So we're going to go ahead and talk just a little bit about PIMA as we get intermediate orchestra really settled and ready to go. Awesome. Thank you so much for being great audience members. I hand it off here. Thank you.
My name is Christy McIntyre. I am the parent reps at Congress Park. I have a son who's in beginning band, so this is new for me. I just want to welcome everybody who also has beginning orchestra students to coming here and supporting our students in their musical endeavors. This is very important. I think it's not addressed enough in schools, so it's wonderful to see it here in District 102. But I'm here as representative for PIMA. PIMA is the Parents Instrumental Music Association. We support our students and the faculty that support them. We raise money for social events for the kids, educational field trips, summer camp, scholarships, purchasing equipment, like I said, the basses could use a little refreshing, and just any other supports that are needed. And we can't do this without your help in many ways. Monetarily, helping us out, being part of PIMA, an active participant. We just want to help. We want to thank you for everything you've done along the way. If you have any questions, there should be somebody around or at the bake sale afterwards. You can ask for more information if you have questions or just about anything. I also wanted to note that our biggest fundraiser is still in progress right now. It's a poinsettia sales. The last day is Friday to order, and you get them at Phillips Flowers down here on LaGrange. They're really lovely for anybody who's purchased them before, and they kind of make really nice gifts on the last minute when you have to go to a party. Finally, as we enter this holiday season, just want to thank a lot of people. Thank you to the students and you parents for sharing your love of music and your love of learning of music. To the PIMA board and other members on there, the fundraising chairs who work so hard to make all these events happen and enjoyable for all of us. And certainly, but last but not least, the amazing directors who are so wonderful for these children and teaching them such wonderful things. And I don't think we could do a thing without them. So a round of applause for them. We're pretty much ready to go.
All right, we seem to be situated and ready to rumble. Moving on with this concert. This is a really great concert to see the full progression through the entire program here. What you just witnessed is beginners really only months into learning their instruments. Now you get to see what will happen in just 1 year's worth of time. Perhaps starting a little bit slow as we get going, but oh man, it shoots off rocket ship level speed as soon as we get past those early days of working on just trying to hold the instrument. Now we get a taste of what's possible after really just 1 year working here. We We have our intermediate orchestra here before you here. Beginners last year, but now they're ready to go. We've got the bows engaged, and we got some really cool music, a really ambitious program for you here tonight. It begins with our first piece, Batman vs. Bowman. So what does it have to do with Batman? Well, you'll recognize this tune, or perhaps some of my older audience members will recognize this tune. I sometimes wonder if any of these younger students even recognize the old ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. I'm not sure if any of them do, but hopefully some of our audience members will recognize that. You'll hear that in this piece that we have here for you. It's got some cool chromaticism, which is really just moving back and forth with that ba-na-na-na-na theme by half steps here, and you'll get to hear that from our low string section. That's where it's featured. And we also have, actually, with this piece, our PSO player, bass player, who will be joining us on piano, Sydney Shell. Thank you for joining us here in the back. Awesome. So she'll be joining us as well for this piece. We'll go ahead and get started. Batman vs. Bowman. Right, so there was Batman vs. Bowman, super fun piece, recognizable. This next one we have for you is called Sahara Crossing, and it's a really cool piece. It's the first piece that really features a lot of challenges between the low ones that are necessary to pull it off and the low twos, which is referring to the fingers. They really got to adjust their whole hand position to pull off performing this piece. The reason is it's performed in a minor key. Their first piece that has to be performed in a minor key has a little bit more of a spooky, more mellow feel to it. And it's this harmonic minor that gives it its very characteristic sound, and you'll recognize this. Hopefully, conjuring images in your head of roaming through a desert, perhaps with a few mirages off in the distance. That's really what we're going for with this. It's a piece that also features some of our PSO players, actually, on some of the percussion instruments who we have back here with Sydney, Bash, and Adriana. Thank you for your assistance with pulling this piece off. Here's Sahara Crossing. All right, hopefully you were able to get a sense of that desert going through there. Very different sounding piece. The percussion really helping bring that to life, and that minor key really sounding very spooky in there. It's a really fun piece, really challenging piece to put together, but they did a really, really great job with that. Very impressive stuff for sure. We're going to go ahead and finish off with a fan favorite from Intermediate Orchestra 2 years ago. Some of them are actually here seated today who remember this piece. It's called Dragon Slayer, not to be confused with last year's Intermediate Orchestra, which played Dragon Hunter. There's a large array of different dragon pieces. My colleague and I joke, perhaps at some point we should have a concert that just features all of the dragon pieces. We'll see, I don't know. We're thinking about it, but it's really fun stuff. Dragon Slayer also features some more fun percussion that really bring it to life, and we've got none other than our concert band player here tonight. Avanish, really appreciate your help with that. Can we get a little round of applause for all the help you received tonight? All of these PSO players and concert band players really advocate and work hard to really bring these performances to life, and they offer their own time and resources to help us make this performance really unique and cool, and we're really grateful for their help with putting it together. We're going to go ahead and play Intermediate Orchestra's final piece, Dragon Slayer. Enjoy. All right, so there you go for my beginner parents out there who are sitting there waiting, wondering, but Mr. Cook, where is it? Where are the clothes? Students wondering, sitting there, where is it? Where do I get there? How do I get there? This is how you get there. You work hard, you practice, and within a year's time, all of a sudden you're doing some really cool, awesome, high-quality repertoire here with that characteristic orchestra sound you're accustomed to hearing. We're going to go ahead and do one more transition here for you to get the end of the journey through the orchestra program here by transitioning onto our Prelude group here. Here we go. Thank you, Intermediate. We're going to go and transition. You did a great job. On to Prelude. All right, as we're making our transition to this Prelude group, just want to talk a little bit about this Prelude group and who they are. This group is made up of our 8th graders primarily, and a few exceptions of a few 7th graders, who are auditioning at the beginning of the year to be in this program. So this is really our really top-notch group full of some of our strongest players of the Park Symphony Orchestra that we have here. All of these students working really hard, meeting only once a week to put together some really challenging repertoire that we have for you today. As we mentioned earlier before, many of these students studying privately, working really hard on their own outside, studying with their teacher to make sure that they're prepared and ready to go to tackle this really challenging music so that we can give you a pretty cool experience with some music you might really see at that high school level. This is what prepares them for some of those audition ensembles that perhaps you've heard of over at Lyons Township High School. So this is a really cool group. They're really fun to work with, very passionate students who put a lot into their instruments and work hard, and you'll see that on full display here with the pieces we have. We've got two selections for you here tonight, starting with our first one, which is called Japanese Lullaby. Now, this Japanese lullaby is based on a Japanese folk song called The Forest Owl. It features this pensively beautiful tune as inspiration for this piece, featuring also some excellent duets and solos for some of these players in here, really giving them a chance to show off their chops for you. So it's exciting stuff for sure. Please enjoy Japanese Lullaby. right, just a little taste of what Prelude has to offer, featuring a little bit of duets and solos by our players here. Really exciting stuff. Japanese lullaby, maybe putting you to sleep a little bit. This next one's going to go ahead and wake you up to finish the concert off. We finish off with a piece called Fire in the Forge. And I generally don't spend time reading much from the program notes, but I just wanted to go ahead and read off a little bit of what we have here because it's pretty cool stuff. We've got the Bay Area string instructor, Alan, has created an intense cello and bass-driven rocker that makes the string metal genre accessible to younger players in this exciting, edgy work. Launched by the Finnish cello quartet Apocalypta in 1993 and taken up by American groups such as Judgment Day, string metal adapts heavy metal guitar stylings to the bowed strings. So that should give you an idea of just a slight style change up from what you just heard with Japanese lullaby. Please enjoy Fire in the Forge. So now you've seen really the beginning of the journey. First starting off, haven't seen anything before, just been looking at this for a few months. Do the very end of the journey, really at that 8th grade level with that Prelude group. Really cool stuff, a lot to offer here with Park Junior High School. Really hope to see all of my beginners stay with it, stick with it. Really, this could be you up here and not so far away in the near future. Intermediate players, this could be you in the near future. So really cool stuff. Thank you so much for coming out here. Before I get us going here, just wanted to bring a few things to your attention, starting with the bake sale at the end here. As we depart, please allow for all students to make their way upstairs, get themselves packed up and settled and ready to go. Then they will make their way back down. Please feel free to join us in the cafeteria for the bake sale. A lot of good sweets, tasty treats available there. Every dollar we do helps support us and allows us to do the cool things like get new bases, field trips, all that fun stuff. Also, any parents who would be able to help and assist with this teardown process would be greatly appreciated. Everything must be torn down up on the stage. Everything must go. All the low strings and any school instruments that were brought up here must make their way back upstairs, ready to go and put away. All of my other students, please make sure you gather all of your things. Don't leave any of your music or anything else behind. And we will go ahead and get going. Thank you so much for everyone coming in, tuning in here, whether it's in person or on the live stream. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you to our custodial staff, our administration, and most importantly, to the students and parents who are here today. Thank you so much.